Hi, I'm Jack and welcome back to Real Opinions. Today I'm going to be reviewing Hidden Figures. I think it's going to be a quick review because I really don't have that much to say, and it's focusing on the tale of three black women that work at NASA during the 1960s. So it's not about the launch to the moon, it's getting the first American man into orbit to kind of kickstart the American side of the space race. If you just want my quick opinion, don't want to hear anything else besides that, I'd say that this is a completely fine film. I don't think it did anything remarkable in terms of story, acting, cinematography, anything really. It did nothing remarkable, but at the same time I didn't dislike anything really. There were a few bits where I thought it was a bit ham-fisted or a bit cheesy, but that just kind of comes with these kind of Hollywood films. It's not so much a biopic now, just because it's not like telling the whole lives of these women. It's just telling this small moment, this breakout moment in their careers. I know it's sort of like the rose-tinted historical retelling. But of course, when I say rose-tinted, there are moments where they shine light on the issue of the time and how it reflects, in our modern time. And I think it handles all that stuff well enough. It's just, personally, if you want to, unless you're personally invested in this story or the message that it's trying to say, I don't think you're going to love this film. I don't know, it's just a very okay film that I enjoyed, but I'm not going to rant and rave about, which is why this is going to be a short review. So yeah, after doing that mini review, I really don't know what else to add besides that. I mean, like I said, it's camera work is all it's just coverage. It feels like coverage the whole time. The same goes with the editing, like it's the cutting to archive footage every so often is the only kind of interesting thing that it does with that, and even then it doesn't really do anything interesting with it. It just feels like a clip show. The acting is as good as it could have been for this film, in that there aren't actually that many moments that let the characters have this full-on dramatic moment. And actually, on the flip side of that, I don't think that there's many moments that let them have truly like either happy or just fun emotional moments as well. There are more of those, like moments when the three main women are interacting. That's quite fun, although they don't really have enough of those moments. I'll have a caveat with that later on. But yeah, acting wise, I wouldn't say anyone's unworthy of any nominations or anything like that, but I'd be very surprised if anyone wins anything for this. It's just there's just not enough there to provide that push for why this person deserved to win. Story is where I'm going to come into for those caveats that I mentioned before. I liked that the story is focused not just on one person, but on three separate individuals. I really quite liked that because it was something different with this standard Hollywood formula. I liked that they were all going away doing different things. I don't want to get tied up in the thing that always happens the moment these stories come out, where it goes, how truthful is this? Because obviously they have to make some adaptations for films and everything like that. How much has been changed to make this what it is? Rarely I don't really get that annoyed with stuff like that unless it changes the tone of what it's trying to be. Like I found looking at the stuff for The Imitation Game after that came out, I thought it was fine just like this, but reading about all the stuff that they changed in that just kind of made it was just so much was fabricated and changed around and forced that it just didn't feel, and it didn't feel like it improved the film. It just felt like they put it in there for the sake of it. And doing some very brief research on this film after seeing it, I'd say that this is much better in accuracy, which I wasn't expecting really. While that you can tell the scenes that they've put in there for dramatic tension, looking into it, a lot of the moments where you think that's a bit implausible are actually much more accurate than you imagine, and I quite enjoyed that, knowing that, feeling like I was getting more authenticity with this Oscar film than I thought I was at the time. But yeah, slight plot problems that I'll get into. One is that the main bit that I took from the reading into stuff is that the three women actually weren't best friends at all. In fact, they're just really colleagues or didn't really know each other, and they didn't carpool every day like the film suggests, which isn't a problem just for this film, but it's the fact that they set up their great friendship at the beginning, and then it just kind of doesn't come into it for the rest of it. Like, they have a dinner in the middle, and that's about it. The only reason that they've established this friendship is so that they can have this interconnected story, but there's not really that much interconnection after establishing that they are connected. And they had such good chemistry in the early scenes and with the earlier moments, that I thought it was kind of a shame that they didn't bring that back more into it. And the other kind of plot problem throughout the film, they also have a romantic subplot with Henson's character, Katherine Johnson, which doesn't feel like it has any benefit to anything whatsoever. Like, it doesn't affect anything else in the story. It doesn't affect her relationship with the other main characters, mainly the other women. Yeah, and it just feels like it was included to have a romantic subplot in there somewhere, some sort of romance, because this is a Hollywood film, and it felt almost like it was just padding out the runtime to make it feel like there was more to it, really. I found that every scene with the romantic subplot was just very forgettable, just instantaneously forgettable, and no, I just thought it wasn't really necessary in the story that they wanted to tell. Great. Again, don't really have that much to say with this film. It's designed so that general audiences will really enjoy it, but again, I don't see myself coming back to this, not because I think, oh, I don't want to watch that, but just because I don't really have anything else to gain out of watching it again. But yeah, if you want to check out any of our other reviews, we have loads on the channel. We also have the podcast, which goes up on this channel, as well as iTunes, if you want to check that out. And you can follow us all on social media.